Yeah, when God created heaven and earth, He said everything was okay, but our activities in the quest to develop, we tend to emit some substances into the atmosphere. We tend to offset the natural balance of oxygen and other gases in the atmosphere. And when this happens beyond the limits, we say it's the pollutant. So currently, as we experience across the country, from December through January to February, the harmattan has been very, very intensive. And so we could see a lot of dust laden in the air. And you could also see sometimes visibility also becomes very, very poor because of the blockage of sun particles in the air. It blocks the sun from penetrating through. So you normally have some form of how to store it, blockage. And we've been experiencing this over time. And as at yesterday, the situation was unhealthy. It means that it could really gravely affect people who have underlying health conditions. The air quality index range was unhealthy. But in January, it was ranging between unhealthy and hazardous. It's unhealthy, it's reducing gradually because of the harmattan is coming down a bit. We will advise people to, normally those with underlying health problems, like the asthmatics, those who have some breathing difficulties, the aged, the elderly, the young ones, infants, we need to keep them a lot indoors, and then try to avoid outdoor outings to be able to prevent themselves. And I also encourage encourage the citizens of the country. The northern sector is worse. Middle sector is also worse. So we need to encourage people to be wearing the nose mask. At least the nose mask will prevent dust inhalation. We minimize what will be inhaled into the system. We all know that when we inhale this dust, we inhale these particles, which may contain toxins into our systems. It may cause, trachea problems. It may also cause, lung problems, lung cancer. We have obstructive pulmonary diseases. We also have a lot of ailments affect the heart and other things, apart from respiratory problems that we all experience, like catarrh and all those things, running nose. These situations could be very, very high in the vulnerable groups. So we have to be wearing our nose masks frequently and make sure that we protect ourselves very well. Thank you.
Industrial activities, as you rightly mentioned, are part of the causes of this problem that we are talking about. And issues of fossil fuel is also a significant part of the causes of the challenge we are discussing on the program. With issues moving away from fossil fuel to clean energy, what do you think government should be doing in exploiting the fossil fuel and our resources in that regard, and also balancing it with ensuring that we do not destroy the quality of the air that we breathe so that we can protect lives?
Frankly speaking, the government is doing a lot, and institutions are playing their roles a lot in this direction. We used to have what we call dirty fuel. Our diesel, petrol the sulfur levels were really, really very high. Currently, we have a maximum of 50 ppm. And even typicals that come into the country are less than that, between the range of 10 and 15 ppm, which is equivalent to the European setup. So for fuel quality, yes, we've improved, government has improved on that. And then when we come to the cooking aspect, then we keep on using the firewood, the charcoal, because of the cost of gas, LPG. So that's where we need to do a lot. The government need to look at that aspect and then improve upon the cost, reduce the cost of the LPG, so that people go back to the use of the LPG stoves and then reduce the use of charcoal. Because the prices are very high, people are moving to the charcoal and then the firewood. And many of this in the cities, in our homes, really aggravate the situation that we have. But for the industrial sector, because EPA is also implementing what we call environmental assessment regulations, and companies are really permitted, there is some form of control. And those who do not have emission control systems are being requested to put in those systems to reduce emissions that goes into the atmosphere. That's happening. But I must say that aside that, which is normally localized within the regional setup, there are other movement of particles that comes from burning, bush burning. You have the wind blowing from the northeast towards the south, may carry these particles. Burning of, how do you call it, solid waste at their backyard, the open burning. Burning of lorry tires and to extract metals from them and other precious metals. These are things that we need to control. We need to even avoid them, because they have serious implications. Apart from the toxicity levels that they are emitted, it's an eyesore as a country to see this thing, smoke laden in the atmosphere all over the cities. So we need to look at that and then try to avoid that and do more. And I plead also with the media that you have to highlight on these things. On institutions that are supposed to do their work, ranging from local government through the public sector, other institutions. Let's try to put pressure on each of them and make sure that the laws are really implemented to the fullest, so that we all live and then breathe better air in the country. Of course, we have the Ghana standards now. The WHO has published WHO guidelines now. Our standards are even stringent, more than the interim target 3 in WHO. So if you're able to implement the standards very well, hopefully deaths and ailments that are associated with inhalation or exposure to air pollution, dirty air, could be reduced. And then productivity could go up. Children can even grow very well. So we have these challenges have to be circumvented. We have to be able to overcome them. And it is the onus is on all of us, every citizen. It is not only the policies can be made, legal regimes can be put in place. But if citizens don't change their mindset, it will become very, very difficult for us to achieve our targets.
We've heard, and research has proven that the burning of electronics at Agbogloshi in the past has been one of the key contributors of this challenge we are talking about. Now that government has moved those more or less burning such materials, there, how has that improved the quality of air we have specifically in Greater Accra?
Yeah, hitherto the levels were extremely very high. And our systems, our monitors are now recording something, a reduction in the levels. Mind you, there are other burnings from the citizens, the city. So wind can carry particles across. So the effect could still be pronounced. There are burning that is taking place around Jamestown area, Choko area, and most often people are also burning, even the same place we are talking about. Around the Kole is you see people burning, especially in the night. So the situation has not yet met the standard that we are looking at, but there's some form of reduction. We should be able to attain this with the limits that Ghana has set.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time this afternoon.